I would like to call this meeting to order. Thank you for joining us during our weekly hybrid MLS breakfast meetings. My name is Brandon Savransky, and today I am filling in for Nanette Ong, so I am the new Nanette. A few housekeeping tips. All participants will be muted upon entry to the MLS breakfast meeting, and should you have a question or a comment, please remember to enter it into the chat box. Please remember to join us weekly, as we will have our hybrid MLS breakfast meetings every Thursday at 9 a.m. As always, this meeting is being recorded and will be available online and on our YouTube channel, West San Gabriel Valley Realtors. Please remember to follow the WSGVR social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also watch all our pre-recorded videos on YouTube. Join our text message group for updates and text WSGVR to the number 888-304-4055. Our quick tip, today's agenda consists of our affiliate spotlight, Nick Lee at AAA American CPA, followed by our guest speakers, Nancy Chan, Joe Haggerty, Marcus Jacques, and Theresa Lam. So the quick tip is, in the matrix, CRMLS has added accessory dwelling units, or ADUs, as required information for the listing and input templates for residential and residential lease property types. And for all the statuses effective October 12th, 2021. And during the input, you must specifically, if your listing has an ADU, if it does, you must complete additional fields. The listing input, add the ADU, and we have added the property ADU tab to the matrix listing input screen. The ADU is a required field and will default to number. If the property has an ADU, please click the drop-down arrow and select yes. Enter the ADU information and continue entering your listing. If the property has additional ADUs, click the more link at the bottom right corner of the page to add information for those ADUs. Continue entering your listing and completing all required and relevant fields, and then select save as incomplete to complete later, or submit listing to publish the listing on the MLS. And then today, our affiliate spotlight will be brought to you by the affiliate committee. I am your chair, Brandon Savransky, and our vice chair, Joseph Nguyen. The floor is yours, Nick. Nick, is he here? He is not here. So Nick Lee is with AAA American CPA. You guys remember he was our guest speaker as well. So reach out to him if you have any questions about that. So thank you, Nick. Have all the affiliates who are present, please come to the front of the room to present.
We'll just do it. Look at that.
If you guys can line up in the front here.
Line up. Just in front of the camera.
Yeah, block all of that.
If you guys can line up in front of the camera. Yeah.
Go all the way.
Oh, all the way.
All the way to the middle. Yes.
Keep going, keep
Pass the
going.
mic, yeah.
You can pass the mic.
Pass the mic. Take the mic down. Pass the mic. Take the mic down.
Hot mic.
Yeah.
Hot mic, guys.
Are we ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Hi, good morning, David Tran with Home Car Home Warranty. Nice to be here. Have a good day.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ann Cho, and I'm with Joel Escrow. So if anyone has any escrow service needs, they can give me a call or contact me. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Maria Howard with Over Public Home Protection. You all have a great day.
Good morning, Jacqueline Chu from Champion Escrow. Always here for you.
Good morning to everyone here and everybody on Zoom land. My name is Cosmo Sanchez, UAE Funding. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Yolanda Martinez Arenas, WFG National Title Company. Good to see everybody. Happy end of the month. Have a wonderful day.
Morning, everyone. Diane from Prime Lending.
Good morning, everybody. Oriana Chan, Prime Lending.
I'm Theresa Lam with Corinthian Title Company, and I'm here on the panel today. Thank you. Thank you.
Nancy.
Good morning, everybody. Nancy Chan, Lawyers Title. Have a wonderful day. And next month is Labor Day, right? Was it? Yeah. No, it's
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
And I am Brandon Savransky with First American NHD. And can we have Maria Howard?
Hi, I'm here.
Yeah, Judy Chow from AAA Capital Investments.
Officer for AA Capital Investments, speaks English and Chinese. Let me help you. Buyer, get pre-approved, funded, and closed. Have a great week. Thank you.
And then can we get Joe Haggerty?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joe Haggerty. I'm with Orange Coast Title. Thank you.
And Marcus?
It's Marcus Jacques with Western Resources Title, having a surreal moment here in between Zoom and live, and happy to be here.
There you go. Hi, guys. Good morning. Angie Tang, First American Title. Have a wonderful day with Caravan and the title panel. Thank you, Brandon.
You're welcome. And Sandy Franco?
Good morning, everyone. Sandy Franco, First American Home Warranty. Have a fantastic day.
And Mark Wu?
Good morning, everybody. Mark Wu with Allstate Insurance for your property insurance needs. Have a fabulous Caravan.
Okay, no open pitches today. Please submit your open pitches before the meetings. We would love to hear those new listings. At this time, help me welcome Maria Howard from Old Republic Home Protection. She will be our moderator today and will introduce our panelists. The floor is yours, Maria.
Wow, you're really tall. How do I do this? I'm still wearing flats. I refuse to wear high heels. Okay. Good morning, everybody, and good morning on Zoom. So glad to have you all here, and thank you so much for joining us today. We have a really wonderful lineup of some great professionals in front of us who have multi-years in the title business, and you've all been introduced, so we'll dispense with the introductions. And we will ask our panelists some questions. For those of you who are on Zoom, if you could please put your questions in the chat. We will have someone moderating that, and I believe that's Brandon. And for those of you in the audience, if you could save your questions for the end and raise your hand, and we'll address all your concerns. Okay, so let's begin with Marcus. What effect has the pandemic had on the county tax assessor's assessment process?
Well, of course, we know that the pandemic eliminated a lot of staff members, so they were lacking in staff. But what it helped to do in terms of the title perspective is to make it clear to all our customers who exactly we work with and how we work with the different county offices. In title, we report information that is provided to us by the tax assessor. When we do our business, when we insure with the recorders. So those are two different departments. What happened was, of course, you had assessment lags with supplemental taxes being assessed on a timely fashion. But there was also, these were compounded by the fact that we had Proposition 19, which was enacted at the beginning of 2020, which did two things. On the front end, Proposition 19 extended the benefits of former Propositions 60, 90, and 110 so that property owners who were 55 years or older were able to transfer their tax base to a replacement primary residence of equal or lesser value. It extended that benefit throughout all of California, all of the counties. It also extended those same benefits for Proposition 110 for people severely handicapped to be able to transfer their tax base to a replacement home, as well as it included those homeowners who had properties destroyed by natural fires, So they were able to transfer that. That's on the front end. On the back end, it did away with Propositions 58 and Propositions 193, wherein property owner parent to child transfers were eliminated, and grandparent to grandchild transfers were also eliminated. So there's a lot of controversy about that, but what it did to the tax assessors, it just caught them by surprise. Here they are short-staffed, and now they're having to assess and look at what is coming through to them from the recorder's office and assess them appropriately. So in some instances, supplemental taxes, which are usually charged to the buyer within the first fiscal year, they didn't get their supplemental tax bill until 2 years later. And then these folks that wanted to enact those transfers of their tax base, we had one that closed in November of 2020, and just this past February in Riverside County did their transfer of their tax base, Proposition 1690, go through. So it really threw us into a topsy-turvy in terms of that. But what it did help us to find in the eyes of our agents, in the eyes of our lenders, is that we work with the recorder's office, because we got a lot of calls that saying your title company did it wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. It's just it got caught up in this backlog of work. So
That was a good long answer. So I've just been instructed by my stage manager, Brandon, to introduce the panelists. So let's begin with Joe. Introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Joe Haggerty, and yeah, I'm with Orange Coast Title. I'm here in the San Gabriel Valley. Been here all my life.
Good morning. I'm Nancy Chen with Lawyers Title. I came from the other side of the ocean, but this is California's home, and I've been here 50 years. Thank you very much.
Marcus with Western Resources Title. I've been doing this for 17 years now, and I've been here for now going on 12 years, and I love you guys.
Good morning. I'm Theresa Lam with Corinthian Title Company. I been in the various different industries, but with title, it's close to 20 years. And I enjoy and like my job so much that I don't see any other, other job that I would prefer working in. And I love meeting people and helping people. And so, we'll start our panel today.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, so my next question is addressed to Joe. What is a remote online notary, AKA virtual notary, and how can it be risky? When can it be used?
Yeah, so this question is starting to come up a lot more, where I have usually escrow or some clients asking if they can sign virtually because they're either out of the country or unable to, and during COVID, it was kind of happening because they didn't want a person in their house. They were in bed, they were in bed, they were sick, whatever, or they just didn't want to risk getting sick. So a lot of states started to allow it as an emergency effort to help people to sign. But the problem with it is for transactionally, really, first of all, you have to have all parties on board with the use of this type of notary because it's more risky. You're not meeting the person, the notary is not meeting with the person, and this is where, you guys as the realtors and the lenders have to be the first line of defense. You have to be making sure that you've actually met these people, that they are the actual owners of the property, and so, I hope you guys always, do your best to vet the people that you're working with to make sure they are who they are. But, where it's risky is, there's more risk, there's more potential risk for fraud. So, we have to be careful with that. And of course, it all has to be, approved by the title company's underwriter, the escrow, the lender. Everybody has to be on board with it. And it has to be, the last resort for a signing opportunity. And it's basically like a Zoom meeting like this. There's, the documents are shown on the screen, the IDs, everything is shared online, and the parties have to be properly identified with government ID, just like any other type of notary. There's a lot to know about it, but I'll let you guys.
Great, thank you, Joe. Just to let the panelists know, if you want to add or piggyback off the question, you're welcome to make a brief comment. So let's go to Nancy. Your question, changes in the county recorders, only email communication allowed.
What?
It's
It's okay. It's all right. Thank you, Maria. When the pandemic first hit, we were all in standstill. And the county recorders, and we have to have the transaction closed. There's no doubt about it. But what we've done, and I think if you are using us, you'll find that Lawyers Title charge an extra $14 for scanning electronic recording service. And we've been doing that before COVID, 2 years before that. So we do have a platform in our company that everything gets scanned. So the risk is laying upon Lawyers Title when we get the original documents. So not like that you can go in and record anything because the county is closed. So what we do is we do have the platform, and documents are being reviewed by the title company the night before, and we are already scanning it. And it's scanned in the platform, and it's one by one, by time, by date. And in the morning, the button is pushed. Then it goes straight to the county. We have the responsibility of making sure the documents are correct, and we have to be very careful that we're not cheating anybody, because this is the largest transaction investment for people, for anybody in real estate. So it did help the title company. It helped me tremendously because physically we couldn't do recording. Like we used to pick up recording, messenger pick it up from the escrow, rush to the office before 6 o'clock. We examine it, and it goes right back into another bag to go to the county and wait for the 8 o'clock recording in the morning. We've eliminated that, which environmentally I think is good. No more driving around. But I think the messenger service didn't like it very much. So we're doing scanning. So first week was really, a lot of worries. Escrow calls us, my agents calls me, but we did have that platform 2 years before COVID. So no worries, your deals are going to close no matter what. I think the county now is very equipped. They know what to do in case of any kind of disaster like this. They are good. When we started doing that, and our office people, we couldn't go in, so we were at half staff. And I want to commend all the title company, all the people at half staff. They were still doing their job, and they were staying till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night to make sure all the documents on there. We do so much work behind the scene that most realtors and you guys don't realize. I have people that calling me at 8 o'clock tonight. I said, Nancy, that notary is not the clearest. Can you get me a good one before 8 o'clock in the morning so I can rescan it? So this is something that agents, that we give you information, we help you with your property profiles, we answer your questions, but our staff inside are the ones that I really want to thank them for doing such a good job. And so the pandemic didn't stop the real estate industry. We are very strong. The real estate industry and the related service escrows, and they're working nights, and they have their tables out in the parking lot, out in the sidewalk, signing people with the masks on. And we don't realize everybody put in their more than their share to get your deals closed. And both sellers and buyers, they don't get it. I'm not going to come to virtual notary. For the title company, it's very risky. We're the one that's recording it. We're the one that's ensuring that signature. And so, if your title company tells you we can't do it today, or we need to, like a notary, we're questioning the notary, If it's not from escrow or somebody that we approve, then, let us know. Give us a day, give us some time to work on it. And I want to thank all the title reps and everybody. Nobody took a break. We worked twice as hard. And I was on Zoom. How many Zoom meetings? I was on Zoom meeting one time, like 6 or 7 of them in one day. So our industry is working hard. I'm telling everybody, these people sitting up here, people like Yolanda, we're all really working hard for you. Did I take too long?
No, not at all. Thank you, Nancy.
Longer than usual.
Okay, Theresa, like your question, how did the pandemic affect the title work environment?
Okay. Well, the lockdown that we had did not affect all of us negatively. Well, for instance, according to CAR, 2021, we have a spike of sales, closing, pending, which brought us a lot of revenue. So that was a good one. And so but to talk about the challenges that title companies faces, like Nancy said, we all worked double hard and trying to find solutions, and Marcus said that we were kind of stumped for a while, but we were able to pick the challenges facing us actually steeled us with a determination that we are going to get your transaction closed, and we did. Okay, and basically the lockdown has for the staff members in title companies faces like change from working in a very convenient office environment into work at home, and also working with vendors such as notaries, inspection companies, and messengers are all required endless coordination and in a very ever changing environment. So virtually everything was done via traveling notaries. Now, face-to-face integration and communication were challenged too. A simple thing like the phones, how to answer them and how to coordinate 250 end users. Okay, inter-county and outer-county recordings became a huge challenge because they were basically, like they said, understaffed, and no one were allowed to, apply or go into the office in person. And there were also an unusual spike of rejected recordings. Okay, simple things like supplies. We having to run supplies to staffers now working from home became a huge challenge. Now, IT hardware challenges now were on a global scale. By that, the IT group was challenged by the lockdown. All underwriting were still and is being done from home. So fortunately, we were able to come, everyone stepped up and were able to deliver what we promised to deliver, and that is to close your deals. So, so those are the challenges that title companies, maybe there are more, but this is what I got from, from the pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you, Theresa. So we'll begin at the beginning and we'll begin at the lineup, and we'll start with the next one with Joe. And your question is, if a property is in foreclosure, can the owners carry a normal equity sale? What do the owners and the realtor need to keep in mind if the close of escrow is closed to the date the property will be auctioned? Joe.
Thank you for the question. Yeah, so I think a lot of people are afraid to encounter transactions where the property is in foreclosure. They're not really sure what to do, or they just don't want to deal with that client. But You know, and during the pandemic, most people were able to avoid foreclosure, but that's actually starting to change as we speak. The numbers of foreclosure related documents are starting to increase. And, you know, sometimes double in certain areas at the moment. Right now, it's actually starting to increase quite a bit. You know, so, you know, what you need to know when you're working in this environment is that there has to be an extra amount of communication with the lender who the current owner is dealing with, the lender and their servicing company. You need to make sure that you know if there's an auction coming up, that it's going to be postponed. If you have a estimated closing. So yes, I mean, it doesn't need to be a short sale, and probably most properties would not need to be a short sale in this environment with, you know, the demand for housing. Even if a house is underwater, you may still sell it for more than what's owed. But what's important to keep in mind is that if there is an auction coming up, title and escrow will not approve the close of escrow if it's within 10 to 14 days. You know, because there is the risk that the lender can still foreclose, you know, close to the day that you're closing. And so we have to be careful that we don't record a sale and pay off loans and then have an auction deed recorded around the same time. So, you know, if you do have that situation, just make sure that you're talking with the property owner, and that, you know, you have a line of communication with their lender to make sure that you can confirm that auctions are being postponed to the following month after closing.
Thank you, Joe. Okay, Nancy, you put during the lockdown, what are the overseas documents that are required?
Yeah, these are like Joe and I were talking about it. There's still cities being locked down in China right now. Okay, so we're trying to do Ron, video notary, and the state of California is very strict about video notary. So if you do have cases like that, you know, and if the country has a apostille, then we can do it. And the local government can notarize it, and it's being certified. But the countries are not. And so if you have somebody out of the country right now selling or doing anything, please call your title rep, get those things ahead of time, what needs to be done. I've had people that during the lockdowns went to Macau or went to Hong Kong and tried to do something. But even leaving the city now is tough, because, and the embassies are, you know, they can be open today or they can be closed this afternoon. So if you have overseas sellers, be very, very vigilant. Make sure that you talk to us ahead of time. I've been able to close some of them, but not every one of them is smooth. So overseas notary is a very tricky thing right now. So if you need any help, give us a call, give me a call. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Marcus, what are some important guidelines to follow when selling, buying property that is participating in a solar service contract?
Well, it goes along the lines of what Nancy and what Joe have mentioned. It's all about being proactive. When you take a listing, you should get a property profile so that at least you can see if that property owner is participating in a solar program. Why? Because solar programs are tricky at least and frustrating at most. And the reason is because when they participate in a solar program, it's a contract, and that contract is noted on the title by way of a UCC lien, which is a Uniform Commercial Code, which is the way that they announce to everybody that they have interest in that property because those people are participating in a solar program. What happens is they contract with a company that manages the lease in another state that's not familiar with title in California. So if you see that, you're going to want to, if you see that on a profile, you're going to want to make sure that the seller has a contract available so that you can see what they got themselves into. And you're also going to want to make sure that they communicate with escrow. Just exactly, they share that contract with escrow so that when escrow seeks demands, they know who they're seeking demands from exactly. One thing that has been very helpful too is I found out because what happens is we're going to close and we see that this UCC lien is still on there. We've gotten a demand, a zero demand from the leasing company, from the solar, but they haven't terminated the UCC agreement. They haven't given us a termination. So there was one time that we made 8 calls to the solar company and spoke with 8 different people to get the proper documentation in the way of a UCC lien cancellation. One thing that I found out from it is you can have your seller call that company and designate you, the agent, as a person that they can speak to. So that if you need to speak with, you need to speak with them and we're having problems in escrow and in title, we can make the call, the conference call together, and we can explain on behalf of the seller what we need. So that was one little thing that was helpful. But look, that's something that you should address right away. Here's a misconception that title clears things. Title does not clear anything. Title reports and insures. The seller clears items that show up on a prelim with the help of escrow. But we do not clear anything. So it's a misconception that title will clear or not clear. Our job is to insure and to report. And if we're going to insure, then things need to be cleared appropriately. So that's just to clear up that misconception.
You know, I'm going to piggyback on this. Marcus, you're exactly right. The misunderstanding is that we're going to clear everything because we're insuring it. But the thing is that we're going to pay it and get the release, right? So this way, that's how you get insurance on title insurance on the property. On the UCC one, I think Tom probably will know when you sell an apartment, there's the washer and dryer lease, similar to that. They're the equipment that belongs to a certain company that has put a contract on your property. So when you explain that way, then they understand it better. UCC one's Uniform Commercial Code, and we cannot just eliminate it. I have agents that say, Marcus, Nancy, why don't you eliminate that? If you don't, I'm going to call another title company. We do the same thing. None of us would do anything. Yeah, right. Yeah, we would tell you the same thing, all of us. You know, it's not one is better than another. We just want to protect the buyer's investment. So thank you, Marcus.
Well, you know, I'll just piggyback on that too. Nancy and I think I had this discussion with Yoli. There was, when these solar companies were coming on, there were some solar companies that were bankrupt, that went bankrupt and dissolved. So here we have this recorded lien, UCC lien on there, but we don't have anyone to negotiate or that escrow can call to get a zero demand or a termination. So it's tricky business. So the key to it is being proactive, calling us, and making sure that you get that information from your seller, that you have somebody to scrutinize that contract to help them understand. And also, if you have a client base, sphere of influences, you know, good messages to get out them, think twice or really look at the fine lines of getting involved in the solar program.
Thank you. Theresa, how the notarization changed during the pandemic?
Well, first, there is a spike on RON recording, that's remote online notarization. And we became more dependent on RON. And the use of this technology, well, was and is more dependent on this technology. This technology, you know, it's, how do you say it? This technology more, and it's more critical that our the clients understand the broad scope of acceptance for the technology. And so more and more states will be added to the approved list. However, California is currently not a RON jurisdiction. We can accept RON from other state, from other country, but we cannot create one in our state at this time. And so here are some of the requirements. But also I just want to bring in that the fact that not all title company accept RON, so you have to check with them. And then there are a few of the requirements in order to use RON. So it is important that you guys know that notary must be a commissioned online notary public in a jurisdiction state or that authorize RON. Then signer himself must be located in California, has to be a citizen and or a permanent resident. So signer also that located outside of United States, like foreigners, can require prior underwriter's approval before they do that. They get the RON. And the parties and all parties in the transaction, including the lenders, must consent to the use of RON. Okay, like signers utilizing a RON platform should also sign the consent form. Lenders' consent in writing is required at closing. So if a lender does not use a e-note, then a wet signature, e-note meaning they don't allow, how do you say it? Those copy documents, documents, they need the actual document itself. So they will just, just say, so you basically just mail it to escrow, and escrow will then forward to title. And RON must be conducted on an approved RON vendors platform, which is certified RON providers or a certified RON provider. And then this is new to ensure that RON transaction utilized a certified RON provider. Check with your title company for RON certified providers. So LA County must, however, accept RON electronic documents for recording. That is all when requirements are met, when completely met and mentioned. So these are the basic requirements, what you need to know to advise your agents, your clients to complete the signing and everything.
Just say one thing that Theresa mentions that is really important that and we can't drive it home enough. It's not just the title company that's going to be looking at it to approve it. It's also going to be the lenders, because there's been a lot of fraud. And you don't hear about bank robberies as much as you hear about fraud through recording. So all title companies are really on the lookout for fraud. So.
Okay, well.
Let me add
Go ahead.
something
Oh,
else.
okay.
Joe and I were talking about this. Even though the county allows electronic signature, title company still wants a wet signature. And I think escrow will agree with that, because at the end, we're all going into trial, we're going to court if there's fraud involved. And I don't want to see you guys in court. Okay, so it is important that we want to make the deal close. We want to really be efficient and help your clients, but I don't think I'm going to accept an electronic signature. I know Joe won't. We want wet signature no matter what.
And sometimes we have the argument, well, it's not common sense. You got to realize that as title underwriters, we have to think within the loopholes of common sense, because there's really tricky people out there that are robbing us of millions of dollars. So it's all just for everyone's protection. We're insuring a hefty piece of property and a lot of money is what we're insuring.
Thank you. So we're going to move on to Q questions from our audience. If you have any, please stand up so that I can reiterate the question because we have our Zoom audience. And do we have any on Zoom, Brandon?
Well, real quick, we're going to go to everyone in the room. Does anyone have any questions? You have a question?
Carlos.
Go to you.
For Marcus, on that solar, let's say they did go out of business, how would you handle that?
Well, that's we didn't have it. I heard it from somebody else, but Nancy, did you ever come up with a solution for that?
Yeah, usually after lots of work,
Yes.
we have to find out who bought them. It takes detective work, and sometimes one of them I did like 2 years ago. It really went around and around. My company helped me. We went on Google, we went on all kinds of searches and department corporation, and we found somebody bought the company. It took another 10 days for us to find somebody, but you guys are going nuts. So when you have a listing that you have solar, get the documents right away. Don't wait till it goes to escrow. Right now, escrows are closing fast. And when you're a buyer's agent and you're putting somebody in that transaction, you need to call the listing agent and say, where are the solar contracts? Who have you been paying? What kind of documents do you have? Agents has to work with agents. If the listing agent is not going to answer your question, I mean, we're in a business that we help each other. So I want realtors to work and get those documents.
But if
to
the
us.
company dissolved, it calls for a legal matter and possibly getting some lawyers to help you do some quiet title action and,
Yeah.
and getting it done by court.
And so if you come across some transactions that a house that has solar on it, immediately ask for it and call title for a preliminary to open right away. Okay.
Yeah, along the lines of the solar panel. So was it the bankruptcy or was it actually just bought out by the company?
It went bankrupt and it was bought out by somebody at the end of the bankruptcy.
You see, we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know until we do research.
Right.
And now, and I have to add something. Now all the builders are required to put solar panel, and they say it's I'll pay off. Get those contracts. Just because you buy a brand new project, a brand new building in Irvine, and the builder not giving you their contract, and your buyer bought it, and what are you going to do later? Ask the builder, where is your solar contract and payoff information? If it's a pay, let me see if there's any kind of equipment maintenance agreement. Maintenance agreement, that's a big thing. It's a big thing. They can go on top of your roof. So you gotta have the maintenance agreement. So, just it's a newer thing, but just be cautious and get all the information you can.
The key to it is also, if you are the consumer that is getting into a solar contract, make sure that you understand everything that you're signing, everything that you're initialing, everything correspondence that you receive post signing into the contract. You have that in a file and you keep it safe, and you go over it with your legal professional. See if it makes sense. Whenever you're getting into a solar program, it's been my experience, at least people in my family, if they're going to get in solar, they make sure they run it by their legal person. They're talking with their other property owner friends, and they're making sure that they're doing the right thing.
On the maintenance agreement on the roof, I've seen that if they come and fix the panel, if the roof gets damaged, they only cover how many feet. So, this is something that you need to know and get the maintenance agreement.
Make sure that you're well informed at all times.
Marcus, about the situation you spoke with like 8 different individuals at the solar panel company. Had that delayed the closing, how much would be the damages for that delay?
Well, it delays. Time is money when it comes to a transaction. But what we had to do, we were able to close on time because we knew about it before. But it took us going to the nitty gritty at the end of the transaction, trying to get that, because otherwise we were going to be delayed. The cost, we don't close. So, it's what you've contracted with your other agents. So we don't close, we have to wait until we get what we have to close, you know. No. We charge for what we do to insure.
All right, we got to go to the next question. If you guys can keep it pretty brief because we only have a few more minutes. We have one last question in the room and then we're going to go to online.
Yeah, we all see these advertisements all the time on television where people are titled as being fraud, their title has had fraud put on it. Old ladies who come up and say, I just found out I have a $100,000 lien on my house and I'm going to be foreclosed on, and they had no idea about it. I think most people feel comfortable that when they have a title policy that they're safe and have no problem. What is your opinion of what these advertisers are saying, and whether it's worth buying this little policy that they're offering to sell?
If your friend was either one of us, I would say forego that cost and make sure that you get a property profile from us from time to time.
I wouldn't kick it completely. I mean, once you get the title policy, that's protecting you from things in the past and things around the time of the transaction. But if someone commits fraud, there's nothing, like later on, you've owned the property for 10 years. The title policy is not covering that fraud that happens 10 years. No, yeah, it happens. And so with this company that you're talking about, you know, I don't know the program that they're offering, but I would say that, you know, if you are, maybe even if you are someone who doesn't, you know any real estate people, and, you know, if they're going to charge you maybe some monthly fee or something, or annual fee, and they're regularly checking your title to tell you there's a little red flag, there's something popping up, a change in your title. I mean, it may be like okay to pay for something like that, depending on the cost. But also you have to understand that the county recorder also mails copies of everything recorded to your property to your house. It could, yeah, like Nancy said, fraud notification, but I mean, anything recorded on your property, they're going to send it to you just so that you can see that something recorded. So the county is already doing this job to help protect you against fraud. And they have, you know, people like at the county recorder and the county offices like that are commissioned to look for fraud stuff, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
We have one more
I'd
online.
like to
One more
end.
Yeah.
I'd like to say one more thing.
Well, we
okay?
gotta go to the next one because we have a short amount of time.
Yes.
Can a buyer purchase a property as a trust?
Very good question. Yes, you can if there's no loan. Most lenders won't loan on a trust. Some will, but most won't. So you have to take title under individual and then transfer it into a trust. And as long as the individual is the same as the trust, there's not going to get property tax reassessment, but just make sure that it is the people that are the trustee buying it as individual and granting it to their own trust as trustees. That's important.
The last two refis that I made, I put my property into a trust the minute I bought it. The last two refis, the lender will make you sign a certificate of trust so that they're going to loan to you as an individual, but they're going to allow for you to close and to vest back into your trust. To answer your question, also to piggyback on that question, the other thing too that's very important for you to advise your clients, you can't advise them on how to vest their property, but you can always speak the praises of putting your home into a trust. We are seeing a lot of affidavits of death being filed because of this pandemic, and you're going to see a rise of probates because people did not put their properties into a trust. So all day long and 24/7 and twice on Sunday, you can always talk to your clients and say, I would suggest that you look in the benefits of putting your property into a trust, just for security.
Okay, so I think we're going to be wrapping it up. Thank you, panelists. Weren't they great? They did an awesome job. At the conclusion of our meeting here today, feel free to come up to any one of these people. And if you have other further questions or you want to meet with them on a one-on-one, please do so. They're here to help you with all your questions and concerns. Thank you so much. And I'm passing the baton back to the stage manager.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, panelists. We really appreciate it. And on behalf of the West San Gabriel Valley Realtors, we would like to thank our panelists for their very informative presentation. And this was the first ever hybrid panel in West San Gabriel Valley history. So you guys witnessed history today.
Remember that.
Remember us.
Okay, so we are going to go to the WSGVR store drawing. I know you guys have been waiting for this. So we will go to, I believe, are we doing online? So two online, we'll be doing two, and it's a $10 gift certificate to the WSGVR store. We will select 4 winners, 2 virtual and 2 live. If you are virtual, please type your DRE name and email in the chat box. If you do not, you will not win. And if everybody who's here can put their their business cards into the tumbler, and we will do that draw. Was it? Oh, Dorothy Tan. Dorothy Tan, can you please type your name into the chat box? Not here. All right, next. Charlie Chen. Charlie, are you here? All right, Charlie, if you can let us know, put your name in the chat box and we will send you the gift card. Charlie. Oh, can you hear us, Charlie?
Yes.
Congrats.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here.
Put your email in the chat box and we will
Okay. Ready?
send that over to you. All right, first winner. Rachel won. Rachel. Rachel is not here. All right. We will go to the next winner. Oh, boy. Sylvia Rosic. Sylvia. 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 Oh, wait. All right. If anyone has epilepsy, please exit the room. Okay, Yang Maggie Wu. Yang.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Yay! All right, those are our online winners. So if you can type your chats into or your name into the chat box, your chat into the name. All right. All right, Yang, can you put your email in the chat box?
Okay, yes, I will.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right, can we go to the in-room winners? Marcus, if you'd like to read it. Karen, yay! Karen. All right, winner, chicken dinner.
There's 2.
Yep.
And Karen Q.
Karen, yay! Karen. All righty. So if we can we're going to do the attendance drawing. Okay, so if you guys remember, we did this prior to the pandemic, so we are back and ready to go. All WSGVR members are included in the attendance drawing. Not all can be displayed, but all are included. The pot began at $350. When we don't get a winner, then $25 gets added to the pot each week until we have a winner. If we get a winner, the pot will begin again at $25. And if for our last breakfast meeting of the year, we still don't get a winner, we will draw names until we get a winner. With no winners, the pot has grown to $425, and the winner must be present either live or virtual. When your name is called, you must announce that you are present. Please make sure. That's next. All right, so winner. On the card.
Goes back into the kitchen.
All right, so that means that the 25 is now added to the pot. 450. All righty. So join us next week, please, and you may be the winner.
Happy birthday, Sandy.
Please make sure. Oh, the 50-50. That's right. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, not yet. Oh, yes. Oh, wait, we got to do first education classes. Please make sure to participate in our education classes. A list of the upcoming classes is displayed on the screen. We have the 45-hour DRE license renewal on Friday, May 6th from 9:30 to 12:30, cost of $85. And then we have the commercial seminar, and that will be on May 10th from 12 to 1, and the cost is free. Then we'll have the CRO MLS virtual training realist tax, and that'll be on May 11th from 9 to 10, and the cost is also free. And then we have the certified international property specialist designation, and that will be May 11th to the 17th from 9 to 5. The cost is $399 for members and $499 for non-members. And don't forget, we are live. We had a few people here. Thank you all for being here in person. Everybody who is here got coffee and donuts. So don't forget, all you at home, that you're missing out. And join us at the association. We encourage you to join us in person. But if you are unable to, we understand, and you are still able to join us virtually via Zoom. And now for the 50-50 raffle, which all of you have been looking for. All right. Okay. All right, number is 4, 3, 2, 9, 6, 3. Yay! All righty, winner. All right. I gotta confirm though. I don't trust you. Just kidding. How much did you win? Oh, you won $30. Woo! She's gonna donate it to the scholarship fund. You're the best. You're the best. All righty. And then please join us next week for our Cinco de Mayo celebration. Also, a reminder to affiliates. We have an affiliate meeting next week after the meeting, so please join us. All the affiliates online, please don't forget. And that will be Thursday, May 5th. And this will be a full breakfast, not just donuts and coffee. You're going to get the full Cinco de Mayo breakfast. So please join us in person. You will miss out if you're not. We will also have a lot of fun live entertainment as well. So if you come in person, you will get the full experience. So don't forget. And once again, congratulations for the WSGVR on our 100-year anniversary. So thank you guys for 100 years of excellence. And thank you all for joining our meeting today. And this meeting is now adjourned.